Good evening. Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. And today I have a book review of Hope to Die by Lawrence Block. This is book 15 in the Matthew Scudder series. It was published in 2001. The summary of this entry in the Matthew Scudder series, and I'm getting close. I have like three more books, I think, in this series, and I'll be knocking that long-term goal out, so that feels really good. But this was a great one. The summary of the book really is you have two upscale New Yorkers, the Hollanders, and they're found murdered in a very brutal manner, a very sadistic manner, in their upscale brownstone home in New York. And a few days later, the killers apparently that did this murder end up in a seedy part of New York, and they're dead under some unique circumstances. And the cops from New York City Police Department, the NYPD, are just kind of like, it's a closed case. Well, in Matthew Scudder's eyes, he doesn't believe so. He believes that this isn't a shut case, and one of the relatives, asks him his opinion, and it gets him thinking. And the next thing you know, he's kind of taking the case, and he doesn't believe that the two killers that appeared to be murdered are all that were involved in it. And he believes there's a mastermind, a third person. And he's very right. So I'm going to get into a little bit of spoilers here and talk about what I like and dislike, but I'll start with, what I enjoyed. Obviously, Scudder. I really enjoyed him. He's time-stamped and aged in here. He's 62 at the time this story, it kind of unfolds. He's obviously living with Elaine still, and their marriage is going really well. And so everything, the different conversations and such are all really, really well with Elaine. I also liked how Block created some conflict, kind of a secondary kind of plot or conflict. And Scudder's first wife, Anita, dies through I believe it was a heart attack or heart disease. And the two sons, Scudder ends up meeting his two sons, and I think it's Michael and Alex, I think maybe. And so Michael seems to be doing well for himself, kind of middle class. The younger brother, Alex, I think is not doing well, kind of in some shady stuff and a little immature. And so that kind of unfolds down as the original story, the murders and everything are unfolding. You get a little more about that. And I thought that was really cool to kind of see the expanded, Scudder family that is hinted at in previous books, but you don't really get much from. So I thought that was really cool. TJ plays a pivotal role in the story. I enjoy every time TJ's part of this, his conversations. He's still at the apartment. He's heavily involved in Macs and computers. The one point where he's doing some research, Scudder is mentioning like the noise that computer makes when it's connecting to the ether type thing, and it's, dial up. I thought it was pretty interesting. Danny Boy Bell, Joe Durkin, Mickey Ballou, they play kind of very subtle brief in the story. Specifically, Mickey gets called on by Scudder to house sit, as one of the family members of the victims, and that Scudder believes is a target. And so as he's trying to work through this detective that reaches out to him as they're investigating more, as another murders happen and the guy's up to like 5, the detective is trying to get police kind of to sit and watch this lady's house and this family member's house of the victims. And Scudder's, it's not happening quickly because of, formalities and political and, all that politics in the NYPD. So Scudder calls Mickey Ballou to house it. And I thought that was really funny. I found the climax really, really good. The ending is really, really good. It's one of those endings that everything's not all tied up in a bow. And the bad guy, and this is a spoiler, the bad guy's not caught. But there's this unique circumstances. It makes you think. But what I enjoyed most of this, out of the 15 entries so far, I finally got Block to write a story in the Scudder series where we get to see the point of view and the thoughts and the conversation that goes on in the murderer's head. And he gets that. You get these POVs where the murderer's talking and he's kind of explaining what's going on in his head, and he's having conversations with people, but then you get his inner thoughts, and what he's saying and what he's thinking are completely different things, and you get to see that sociopathic mentality of a murder. I thought it was great, and I was just like so happy that I was getting that. And I didn't get it wasn't a few times, there was many times you got that, and I thought it was great. The only really dislike, maybe a little more action, and I'm just being nitpicky, because I really enjoyed this book. In terms of rating, so I knew this one probably was going to be one of my favorite Scudder books. And so I went back and looked at my notes, everything I keep on my computer, and to kind of see where I've tracked my ratings of the Scudder books. And this one definitely is the highest rated book. But before I give you that score, I also wanted to go out and see, because I was just intrigued. I'm like, this is so good. I wonder, and I'm sitting here thinking, it's 15 books in the series. This one's really good. I finally get what I want with the killer's POV. People have got to be digging this. I go to Goodreads, it's like a 3.9, and people are on there like, this is the least favorite Scudder book, and blah, he's really good. One comment was like, I can't believe we're getting, you have a Scudder book where the killer has more words than Scudder, which is not true. But it's just like, they were like bashing, like they said it was a good book, but they just weren't, I don't know. It just goes to show you, like, you can't trust ratings. You can't trust what people's opinions are their opinions, mine included. And so, lo and behold, though, I'll tell you, I give this a 4.6. It is the highest Scudder book in terms of rating of the 15. And it's definitely one of the top tiered books for this year for me up there. And so this is a great book. I really, really enjoyed it. So that's my review. Hope to Die by Lawrence Block, book 15 in the Matthew Scudder series. I give it a 4.6. If you've read this book, or if you've read any of the Matthew Scudder series, drop me a comment. I'd love to hear from you and see how, what your take is on it. Again, I'm only like 3 books away from finishing the whole thing, and I'm very excited about that. So hope you're having a great evening. Happy hump day, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.